Hello, everyone. Welcome to Healing Dialogue, healing hearts and minds, one episode at a time. And my name is Carol.
My name is Genevieve, and our topic is I'm free to embrace Christmas in my own way.
So, Genevieve, last week we were chatting about lists, and I wanted to share my experience with you because I said to you that I was busy, really busy.
I'd love to know more. Tell me more, please.
Well, once again, I know I mentioned that I was really busy.
Yeah, I know you mentioned it several times. But, explain. How did it go?
So here's what happened. I had this blank piece of paper. I was staring at it, and on the bottom it said, "You're doing a great job."
And there was nothing on it. Okay.
Okay, so yeah, I was chuckling to myself because you're right. There was nothing on it.
So what did you do? From there, like, how did your process go?
I had this big list that was actually in my head, and I was able to put the huge list onto the paper.
Okay. I just want to interrupt for a few minutes. Remember last week, and I'd like to reiterate, is that when we make a list, is to make it manageable. And I have a saying, if it's longer than a post-it note, then it's too long. So just make it short, concise, and manageable for yourself. So what happened when you had this really long list?
Okay, I'm managing it in my own way. Okay, so with the list, I looked at it and I decided what was my priority,
Like that word, priority.
and I acted from my priority, but not before I came down from writing my list and I had to have a cup of tea.
Okay, so it stressed you out, this long list, before you started prioritizing.
Well, I just thought that I had been really busy. I had achieved something. So I guess the cup of tea was like a little reward.
Okay, so it was a reward rather than anxiety. Well,
Sure.
I thought the long list had given you some anxiety, so just making sure.
So writing the long list on a piece of paper actually freed me up
I like
made
that.
me feel much lighter. So then having a cup of tea means that I can kind of like, yeah, it did genuinely feel like a reward.
Okay, so you organized your thoughts. You eliminated those external worries, okay? And it gave you something manageable, right?
Yeah, manageable, because actually the one that I deemed to be my priority was where I owed someone some money, and I was eventually going to get round to paying it, via the internet and things. But once I'd had my cup of tea, I went to that list, and that was my priority. So I did that, act there and then, and that was one of the jobs that was achieved.
Okay, so
Done.
What I get from this is you brainstormed. You didn't have any, structured. You just brainstormed all your ideas. You categorized them. You prioritized them, which is fantastic. It's absolutely fantastic. Did you maybe evaluate?
Well, no, Genevieve, because I have a life.
And here we go. She's too busy.
So, but what I do want to say is that the list definitely made a difference. It made me obviously see what jobs that I needed to do, made the jobs achievable because of the prioritization. And I definitely had a sense and a feeling of control with my thoughts and my kind of like my freedom in my life, to be
Mm.
fair, because the list wasn't going round and round and round in my mind. So therefore, I was able to say, okay, what's next?
So there wasn't a vagueness, there was manageable steps, there was a clear perspective, there was a feeling of this mental load being lifted off you, and it was manageable, and it gave you a sense of control and achievement.
Well, you've just kind of like taken the words out my mouth, because I'm just going to tell you, I'm an achiever now.
I believe so, and I can see it because I've seen your list. I've seen you cross it out. You showed me your list as soon as I came in this evening. So I am very proud of you, Carol. Really proud of you. And I think you'll be proud of me. Okay, so
Okay, so what have you done with regards to
I'm so proud of myself. I can't wait
information
to
for
tell
last
you.
week?
So this week, I made lots of lists. Absolutely, loads. And they all over my kitchen in the form of post-it notes. That was my achievement. No, but on a serious note, this Christmas, I don't eat a lot of gammon. So my family enjoys gammon. I enjoy more turkey and beef roasts and stuff. So I'm making those. But I thought this year I'm going to challenge myself. I want to have a little bit of this gammon, but I want to be able to eat it. So I'm going to do it my way. So this weekend, just as a practice run through, just to see how it tastes, putting the gammons, putting my own sauce. Not going to tell you the secret to my secret sauce. And put it in the slow cooker for 8 hours. Oh, when I opened that slow cooker, it smelled delicious. I was so proud of myself. Went to the stove, started making this glaze, putting in my own ingredients, not from a book. Went to the spice rack, took out my cinnamon, because cinnamon always smells like Christmas, right?
Yeah.
Tried to pour it in. Well, I did pour it in, actually. And I started looking at the cinnamon, and for some reason, it was like a yellow color, or was orange. I was like, I don't remember cinnamon being that color. So I was very worried. So I stopped pouring it in, looked at the top, it said cinnamon, looked at the side, and there it said turmeric. So one of my lovely boys, love them to bits and pieces, had pulled a little prank on me, had taken all the stickers on the top of the actual different containers and had changed the spice names around. So I thought I was picking up cinnamon. Okay, but actually I was picking up turmeric. And I put the turmeric in. So I had a turmeric glaze. Yes, I did put the cinnamon in afterwards, after I figured out which one it was. Tasted absolutely delicious. Turmeric just gave it a bit of zing. So I decided I'm making Christmas my own way. I'm going to use that turmeric when I do my final meal. I'm doing it my way.
That sounds brilliant. Brilliant story, by the way. Okay, so talking about doing Christmas, obviously your way, then me and my family, we're doing Christmas our way. We've decided to not go for the traditional Christmas dinner, which a lot of people may have, like turkey, the trimmings, potatoes and things like that, and obviously the conventional pudding.
So what are you guys doing? That sounds interesting. I like it.
We're going to have an Indian meal that we make from scratch.
Okay, I like that.
And we start with something like maybe pakora for our starter. And we have a chicken, we call it kushis. It was actually a recipe that came from an Indian restaurant in Scotland. And I have eaten this curry for many years. So it's a love of curry.
Okay. All right, so it's done from a love of something that you really enjoy. I just wanted to ask, are you doing the traditional, exchanging of presents, giving presents during this time, or are you doing this non-traditional, as you would say?
So what we normally do is presents in the morning.
Oh, lovely. We do it at 12 on the 24th.
Wow, that's
At night.
actually that's kind of like lovely traditions with, if I'm right in my knowledge, for some European countries.
Yes.
And that's another individual thing.
Yeah.
So if
making
families want to do that, or people want to do that, that's a lovely thing. So yeah, getting back to kind of like traditional gifts and things, I this year feel really fortunate because throughout the course of the year, I have been listening to obviously my loved ones, and then I kind of, from the conversation, I cherry pick what kind of gifts that I could possibly buy. So I've been really lucky that the sales are on.
Mm.
And for the gifts that I would like to buy my loved ones, they happen to be in the sale. So I've bought them and I have saved a lot of money. They get what I believe they would like. I haven't obviously asked them outright, but what I've done is, as I say, listen to them when they've been speaking to me, and I think, oh, that could be a lovely idea.
Well, I do like that. I like the fact that you've given your family members enough attention and love, and you taking interest in their needs, and you're not looking at, oh, how much is this gift going to cost, and how good is it going to look to other people, but you actually taking an interest in those people and giving them something that they need because you're listening to what they are saying. So it's very nice. It's really good.
And I mean, at the same time, then it's made it extremely affordable for me, which then in return makes me feel really good.
Yeah. No, I think that's the way to go about Christmas, and I just like the fact that you listened to them, you were paying attention to what they were saying. I think that's really, because that means that there's a great love and appreciation for those people.
Yeah, so it takes away kind of like my financial stress, and it gives me a really good feel-good factor.
Yeah, and it's coming from the heart. I like that.
So, Jeanette, you've got a large family,
Mm-hmm.
and I just want to ask you, do you feel sometimes that you've got perceived guilt that builds up during the year?
Can you define the perceived guilt? Because I'm sure I have lots of guilt, but can you just explain a little bit more?
Okay, so what I mean by perceived guilt is that maybe because you haven't spent enough time with, one of your loved ones, because you've been a little bit busy and you haven't spent enough time with another little loved one, that you're feeling like, oh, I'm so busy that this Christmas, what I'll do is, to make up for my guilt, I'm just going to buy them really big presents.
Oh, okay.
And so give them a really big present rather than kind of thinking, okay, how could I alleviate my guilt? Make sure I'm debt free.
Okay. So I think every parent feels like that at some point in their life, whether you've got one kid or 20 kids. I think that we all feel that, whether we compare it to, spending more time at work and therefore we don't have time for our children. But I think time and love and attention, in my opinion, is more valuable to a child than any monetary gift and or any expensive gift. And I always go back to that thing, that they say you buy this kid this very expensive gift and it's so expensive and you put it in this beautiful box, or it comes in this beautiful box, and the kid opens it and all they do is spend time playing with the box, the most inexpensive thing of all. And I always think that when I buy my kids gifts, because I'd rather box up my love, my care, and attention for my children.
And time.
Yes, and time. And play a game of Uno. Even if, it's 15 minutes, I can tell you that child's going to remember that. And I'd rather be debt-free for the rest of the year, be able to give my family things over the year, not put myself into debt for one little gift or, many one little gifts for these people, but just to give them the love and attention that they need. So, no, I don't often feel like it, but I'm sure there are people that do feel like that. But I think we've spoken about a lot of things, and I've appreciated my talk with you, Carol, because it's brought up some things that I could improve on. Like organizing my spice cupboard a little bit better, and certain other things. And I'm sure you feel the same.
Yeah, sure. I mean, I learn loads when you and I are just speaking together. And I'm just wondering what I'm going to take away from, obviously, today's conversation. I think I'm going to take away the fact that, so time and love and listening to other people are really good traits to be shared, and they don't cost anything.
Yes, and just making it your own, isn't it? Just making it your own by listening to those people. And just to sum up tonight, thank you for joining us on a journey of self-love and healing. We'll see you next time with love from Genevieve.
And with love from Carol.
And just say it again, Carol. Come on.
Okay, bye for now. Cheerio.
Bye.